If you are thinking of moving your IT workloads to the cloud and wondering how much you will really save with this, then this video is for you. We will make it simple with Azure TCO Calculator, which should be your first step towards making the smart decisions to move your workloads to the cloud. You can save the costs, you can make the informed decisions based on this data. My name is Navneet Kumar and I'm a Microsoft certified trainer. Cost is an important factor for planning to migrate the workloads to the cloud. The Azure TCO calculator helps you getting the estimate how much you can save by moving your workloads from the on-premises to the cloud. How? Let's have a look. To access the TCO calculator, you need to open the tco.microsoft.com. TCO stands for total cost of ownership, as you see on the heading. If you access this TCO calculator, then you have the three steps to work with this. Number one is to define your workload requirements. Then you have to adjust the assumptions, and finally you can generate and download a report. Well, the first stage is to define the workload requirements. I have one workload, which is, let's say, for Windows or Linux servers, or I'm planning to run the websites or web applications only. Then the environment is to be virtual machines or the physical servers. Most of the data centers are virtualized today. So let us go with virtualization to compare the cost. Then the operating system, be it Windows or Linux, the operating system license, data center or standard license, the number of virtual machines. For instance, I need 10 virtual machines. The virtualization platform, I can choose between Hyper-V or VMware. VMware comes with higher price tag. So this is very important to decide here that what virtualization platform you are comparing it with. Number of CPU cores, the RAM. So this is the compute power defined for these servers. Next workload is the database. You can add the database requirements here. For instance, Microsoft SQL Server, enterprise or standard license. The physical servers or virtual machines, we also can virtualize our database servers. Windows operating system or Linux, data center, the operating system or standard. Then the number of virtual machines that I need for this virtualization, VMware or Hyper-V, the CPU core that I need for this, and the memory. Accordingly, we can assign this. And then the destination, the service, SQL database, virtual CPU core, general purpose that we are going to use. Next is the storage. In the storage, we can specify the local disk, SAN or NAS or file shares or blob, what kind of storage we are planning. The HDD or SSD, so spinning disks, the magnetic disks or the SSD disks, which are providing the better performance. Capacity, so let's say it is 2 terabyte, backup is 2 terabyte, and I have used archived storage 10 TB. And IOPS, I can specify what IOPS I need to go with. For an instance, I keep it 1000 IOPS, input output operations per second. And this is the networking. So this is let's say 1 GB, the bandwidth, and the destination region where I'm planning for this. So I can decide it from here. For an instance, this is Southeast Asia or maybe Canada Central, I'm taking it. And then the next phase after defining your workload is to adjust the assumptions. The adjustment of these assumptions is required to get the accurate estimates or figures, because the hardware, the IT labor cost, the electricity cost will vary region to region. So you need to provide the accurate details over here to get more accurate report. So here we have a lot of things to define here, like software assurance coverage, whether we are going with Azure hybrid benefits to bring our own licenses. If we have purchased the licenses with software assurance, then we have the geo redundant storage, whether this is the requirement or not. So GRS for disaster recovery purpose, virtual machine cost, so that we want to add into this. Electricity cost, so we need to specify that what it will be. Storage cost, we can adjust that. We can adjust the IT labor cost as well. We have many other components like the hardware cost, we can adjust. We can adjust the software cost. Electricity cost, we can configure. Virtualization cost, we can specify here. And then the data center cost, networking cost, database cost, and then the data warehouse cost. So by making these adjustments, we get the more accurate reports, as I mentioned. Finally, I go with next to see the report. This report shows that what will be the cost in on-premises and what it will be in the Azure. So the green is showing the Microsoft Azure cost, which is lower than the on-premises, and I can use the time frame for 5 years, 3 years, 1 year, for how long I'm looking for this, the region where exactly I'm looking for this. So Microsoft's cloud cost, or running the resources in cloud, uh, the cost vary actually depending on the region where you deploy that, and there are several factors behind that for this cost. So the US regions, for example, are less expensive as compared to Europe or UK regions or African regions. Asia Pacific regions are also less expensive, but it's not always about the cost. It's about the data sovereignty as well. I need to keep the data using the compliant. For example, for Europe, I need the GDPR compliances. The reason behind this cost variation is the economy of scale. For an instance, in Africa, there are limited regions of Microsoft. We have in South Africa, in Cape Town and Johannesburg, two regions are there. So economy of scale is not achieved. The hardware is also expensive and the infrastructure is expensive as well. Same is with the UK and Europe as well. The infrastructure cost, electricity cost is also higher as compared to the rest of the world. So there are several factors due to which this cost will vary. So here I have selected any particular region, let's say East US, or I can go with that Canada Central, or any specific region where I'm planning for. So this was Canada Central. So this will be the difference that will come up in 5 years, and this will be the savings in 5 years if you move your workloads to the cloud. If we see the breakdown of this cost in the 5 years, so the pie chart shows that the data center cost, networking cost is zero in Azure. Data center, because we need not to set up any data center for deploying the workloads. Networking, virtual networking is free if you create your VNet and traffic remains within the VNet, so it's free. But of course, if you will be peering it with other regions, or you will be sending it out, so for data egress you will be charged. In fact, for peering, ingress and egress can be charged. So that is a separate thing, but here we are considering it that the networking is completely zero over here. Data center cost is also zero, and the IT labor cost also will be less in the cloud. So as you see that your not only capex, but the you have saved on opex as well. So this is $23,000 here, but here it is $19,167. That is the IT labor cost coming up. So here we can compare the cost between the on-premises and the cloud, and can make the informed decisions for this. We can download it as a PDF. So here we see that we can save it as a PDF, and we can take it to the key stakeholders to represent when it comes to decide that whether we should kill some on-premises servers and move to the cloud, or we should fully move to the cloud. Depending on our requirement, we can choose. So this is the total cost of ownership, and then I saved it to the desktop. We can save it, share it. So these options are available. Well, this is how we can use this TCO calculator, the total cost of ownership calculator, to make informed decisions based on this data. You can spare some time. Do let me know if you have any questions in the comment section. Thank you.